guys. Welcome to Friday night on quarantine. Hope everyone's doing well. I know I'm doing all right. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know how everything sounds. This is the first time we've ever done anything like this. So yeah. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to jump in before we bring on any guests, any people who want to join in. Feel free to comment on the video. So how this software works is it's integrated with Skype, and it allows me to essentially phone in guests. And it should be kind of interesting. I'm learning it a little bit every day. Today's the first day I've really played with it, and you guys get to learn with me. All right, let's see if anyone's ready to join in on the fun. Lucas?
Yes, Dustin?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. But I also have the Facebook video pulled up, so like the delay is substantial.
Don't worry about that. But I don't see you.
Oh. Let's see. How about now?
Whoa.
There I am.
There you are. All right, let's add you in so that everyone else can gaze upon your beauty.
Oh man, what do? Just like mute the Facebook Live when you do this?
Yeah, just mute it.
Gotcha.
Boom. There he is, everybody. How's it going, Luke?
Great, man. You figured this out, I assume? Sounds that way?
It's a work in progress. Tonight's impromptu video talk is brought to you by the kind folks at Yellowstone. This is a 4-year aged barrel of bourbon whiskey. I'm not a big fan, but Steve really likes it, so since he's not here, I thought I'd drink it in honor of him. There we go. Also, got my Sony Pony shirt on. You guys can still order one of these. We have a few left. So what are you up to, Luke?
Not much. Lindsay and Emerson just went down for bed, so working on editing a wedding video. I do video, by the way, guys.
Yeah, let's introduce you. Let's tell people about you. I feel like Steven and I know you. We've worked with you. We've worked for you. So Luke McBride is a world-renowned cinematographer based out of the greatest city in the world, Fort Wayne, Indiana. And,
greatest, hands down.
Yeah, let me see if I can like drop your name in here. There's gonna be a lot of playing today, guys. Tonight. whenever today is. This is live. Boom. Look at that. That way you guys know who he is. So yeah, Luke is a world-renowned wedding cinematographer, but kind of new to the game. Would you say new to the game?
I'd say that's fair.
How you been in it? What, 3 years?
Yeah, this is my third year full-time, and I was part-time the year before that.
Third year, rocking it out, and just crushing it. I remember the first wedding Luke shot with us, not so crushing it.
Do we have to bring up these memories?
But no, nowadays he is the go-to guy for all things video. He travels the world, and well, hopefully your Mexico wedding doesn't get canceled here.
Right, exactly. We'll see. It's kind of up in the air at this point, but
so
fingers crossed.
Tell the listeners who are out there. Most of our listeners and viewers are primarily wedding photographers or photographers. How did you get into video, Luke?
So my wife is actually a wedding photographer. She's been doing it way longer than I have at this point. I think it's probably her 7th or 8th year, if I were to guess. And I was kind of doing my own thing, went to business school, climbing the corporate ladder, and got to a certain point where I just couldn't see myself doing that anymore. Wasn't really enjoying it. And I asked my wife if she would talk to one of her couples and be like, basically asked them if they were okay with me tagging along to one of her weddings. I just used her backup Nikon camera,
right,
and tried to shoot video, and I threw together a short little highlight film for them.
So wait, Luke, do you still shoot wedding videos on Nikon?
Basically, yeah. I mean, Nikon, Blackmagic, Ursa, basically one of the same.
It's all the same thing.
Yeah. But no, I just tried it out to see if I liked it, see if they actually liked the product, and they did. I loved the process. Obviously, there was a ton to learn at that point, which for me was the most exciting part of it all. So
yeah,
just kind of dove head first in at that point and tried to build up the business while also still working the corporate job. And did that for about a year and a half.
What was the corporate job? You were doing videos, editing videos on the corporate level, right? It was video related.
No, not exactly. So yeah, I went to school for business, and the corporate job was actually project management, like continuous improvement, like analyzing processes and figuring out how to make them more efficient. So yeah, totally a lot of overlap there with videography.
Oh, absolutely.
So I made the natural transition over into wedding video.
I can see the path forward. You're like, business, insurance, numbers. Let's do video.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the future look like for Unscripted Visuals and Luke McBride?
We're talking long term, short term. What are we?
All terms.
All terms. Well, let's see. I mean, obviously, it's still looking to grow the business. This year, obviously, with the coronavirus situation, it's kind of threw a wrench into some things. So kind of, as most vendors are, kind of figuring things out on the fly of how we're going to adapt to these circumstances. But in terms of like long-term strategy, definitely looking to expand into obviously the same thing that everyone wants to do, shoot in higher markets, make a little bit more, work less would be the ideal situation.
Yeah.
But eventually I think this year is kind of like the first year I'm kind of considering bringing on like booking secondary weddings for like associate teams to go out and shoot as well. So that's kind of probably the next progression.
Building that team, building that empire.
That's right.
So, Luke, why Ursa? Why Blackmagic? Why?
It's funny. I asked myself that same question at a lot of weddings. Like, why am I doing this to myself? More so when I go back and offload the footage and I just
it's a lot
through hard drives.
Gigabits.
Yeah. But ultimately, I really enjoy the image quality that I can get out of them, and bigger than that, with it being a much beefier codec than what I shot on previously, it just gives you so much more latitude in terms of pushing it around. So
Right.
like speaking in like photographer terms, it's like I compare it to shooting JPEG versus shooting raw images. You can just push the image around so much more with the codec that I'm using with the Blackmagic cameras, as opposed to I came from Sony. Just not as much wiggle room there to, if you don't get the settings exactly right when you're shooting, and we all know weddings are kind of like on the fly run and gun situation, so you don't always have the time to get the most perfect lighting, perfect settings, and all that stuff. So Blackmagic with those codecs makes it a little bit easier to kind of fix some of those things.
Yeah. I mean, some people like Ulysses Del Toro might just tell you, Luke, just get it right in camera.
Well, yeah, if I was as perfect as Ulysses, I would. I hope to get there one day.
Words of wisdom. We all hope to be as good as Ulysses someday. Let's see if I can add in listener Jackie Santana. Let's see. We've never done 3 people on one call.
Oh boy.
I know. I don't know how this is going to go.
Trailblazing here.
Let's see. Jackie? Jackie?
Yeah, my iPad was locked down.
You locked down your iPad.
Well, like I was doing stuff and I couldn't put my finger on the thumbprint because I was washing dishes and my fingers were wet.
Do you want us to call you back?
Mm-mm. You're good.
I hear you, but I don't see you.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
There she is. All right, let's see if I can bring you into the group here. I don't know if it will let me have...
This is all new to me. I've never seen do this before. I've only ever Skyped with my mom while we're working on my website.
It's okay. This is the same thing as Skyping with your mom.
I live a really exciting life.
All right, Luke, we're going to let you go, and we might ring back to you, okay?
All right, sounds good.
Just until I figure this out.
All right.
Hello?
Hello, Jackie.
Well, when you hung up, Luke and I were still on the call.
That's okay.
And then I went and switched to the call with you.
Luke?
Your living room is really cool looking. Come here. Come here, babe. I want to talk to you.
All right, this is Jackie Santana. She is a Indianapolis wedding photographer extraordinaire. Oh, there she is. Look at that intro. She like slides in. What are you cooking for us tonight?
Not tonight. Tonight I'm just cleaning.
Oh man, I got so excited.
5 p.m. Facebook live stream of what I'm making for dinner.
Really?
You want to say hi to people?
I do.
It's really just, I think it's just Dustin right now.
It's just me. I'm really... So people don't really know this, but it's actually just me. There is no one named Steven. I just dress up in a different outfit and masquerade as 2 separate people.
All right. Do you want me to go turn a movie on for you in my bed?
Yes!
Okay.
Return of the Jedi, which is the one after I think.
Star Wars
I can do
fan.
Return of the Jedi.
Start them off young.
What'd you say?
Gotta love a Star Wars fan.
Oh yeah, we're a big Star Wars family.
What are you drinking there, Jackie?
Aldi special Chardonnay.
Ooh, that Aldi special.
That $2.95.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
it.
ballin', and then
what's that?
and then Beckett has grape water.
Grape H2O.
Grape H2O.
So what's 2020 look like for Jackie Santana?
Wedding wise?
Yeah.
Not good.
Not good?
Well, in my defense, I have not marketed or really done anything to try to push to get weddings, so
Okay.
take what I can get.
Sure.
But I think I've got 4 or 5. So
That-
for not really doing anything, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all. Hey, but
I haven't even posted on my Instagram since December 20th.
you're going to be the one that everyone's going to be calling when they need to figure out some help for this fall. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, because everyone's going to need somebody in the fall.
Yep.
I had an April 25th wedding that already booked for September 14th.
Boom.
So they switched to September 14th, which I was like, yeah, pretty much my schedule is wide open other than I'm second shooting for a friend of mine.
Not anymore. You're not.
bunch this
Now
year.
you're just going to be the fall photographer.
I have to second shoot for her because she's technically supposed to be shooting my vow renewal.
Ooh.
But because of COVID-19, I don't even know if we're going to be able to have a vow renewal because it was supposed to be on May 1st.
That's tricky. That's very tricky.
So I don't know what's going on. I need to contact Brown County State Park because we rented like a shelter.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what our options are for like switching the shelter rental to a different date. So yeah, I don't know.
So
What
is Brown County open during
They
this?
aren't, not that I know of. Well, and either way, I don't think that we're going to, because of just everything that's going on and like switching weddings to different dates, money that I was planning on putting towards that is now not coming till later in the year. Just things like that. I think it's probably going to be best if we switch it. I mean,
Right.
if they're delaying the Indy 500 until August, which is literally like that same month, and the Indy Mini got canceled, which is the day after.
Wow.
Well, it didn't get canceled. Now it's going to be like a virtual run.
Oh, I love virtual runs. They're the best. I can do them sitting down.
Well, my friend runs marathons, and he is very disappointed because this is the one that he books every year. Like, as soon as the race is over, he goes and books for the next year.
Gotcha.
Because he always does the Indy Mini, and he was really disappointed when it got turned into a virtual run because it's not the same.
So how does one do a virtual run?
I'm not sure, to be honest, and he never really explained it to me, but I think it's something like you just do it wherever you are, whether it's in your neighborhood, on a treadmill, what have you, and then like somehow log your stuff with the Indy Mini people, and they probably give you like your medal and like a certificate or whatever it is you get if you run the Indy Mini.
Okay.
But
So-
I mean, it's
'cause
not the
most
same.
people don't realize I'm running right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
same.
I'm running so fast.
Look at me running so
Wow,
fast.
I'm sweating. I'm running. Whoo! So, when is your first wedding back, hopefully?
Of course, I have so few now. I have to actually look at my calendar. Normally, I have like all my weddings memorized.
Just like it.
Yes, baby, I hear you.
Hey,
So how
think it's not till
Jackie...
one
June.
of my
June?
Lego Star Wars.
So Jackie and I met at a wedding in Indianapolis where she was shooting the photography and I was actually shooting the videography, and we were at the Regents Towers, one of my all-time favorite venues. That is a beautiful
It's one
stormtrooper.
of my favorite venues too.
See that stormtrooper?
I see
Yeah,
him.
I don't think my next wedding is until September, actually.
That's
It's a good month. It's a good month for weddings,
White one or black one.
especially here in the Midwest.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go turn on a movie for my kid, so he'll actually.
You're fine. We'll call you back in. Don't you worry.
Okay. I can just leave it running, but I don't know how this works. Like, is everybody else in this call right now too?
I can only do one person at a time, so we're just kind of like jumping in and out.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, yeah, call me back in.
It's like a talk show.
Okay.
Like my stormtrooper, it's gray, not black or white.
Come on, baby.
Hey, Ulysses, do you want to get in on here? Do you have a Skype, Ulysses? So that was Jackie Santana, everybody. So people have been asking Steven and I what the setup is I'm using for live streaming. And it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. I have a Black Magic Ultra Studio mini recorder is what it's called. And essentially what that allows you to do is convert the raw feed from your DSLR, camcorder, what have you, and convert that into a usable feed, much like a webcam. It's pretty nifty. It's pretty low tech. It's very plug and play, which is really my favorite thing about it. And then I'm using a piece of software called Ecamm Live. And what that does is it allows you to almost create sort of like a on-the-go video presentation while also live streaming it to multiple platforms. Right now we're just focusing on Facebook, being that this is primarily, you guys are my guinea pigs, but I'm looking to figure out a way I can help people moving forward in these uncertain times, as everyone's calling it. And I feel like live streaming is a place that a lot of people are going to want to be, simply because the algorithm on Facebook tends to prefer live videos versus pre-recorded videos. So yeah, I'm curious. I have no idea what will come of this, but with Steven and I trying to do some live streamed versions of our podcast, I thought what better opportunity than to get this rolling. Let's see if Kenzie is on here. Hello.
I need to shut this Facebook video off.
Just mute it. Yeah.
Alright, there we go. Hi.
Hi. Let's see if I can do this.
Your living room looks much different between your two cameras. It's creepy.
I know. It is not allowing me to share your video feed.
See?
Are you in Skype?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go up to your Skype preferences.
Mm-hmm. Got
and
it.
Go down to calling.
Yep.
And then you'll see a little, you'll see advanced.
Yep.
And then you'll see a thing that says allow NDI usage.
Alright, got it.
Got it?
Yep.
Boom.
Let's
Look at that.
Got it. Let me mute my Animal Crossing here.
because I'm a child.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. So what's up with you, my dear, on this lovely Friday evening? What are you up to other than playing Animal Crossing?
Editing a wedding, getting ready for a small ceremony tomorrow.
Whoa, look at you breaking quarantine rules.
Yeah, I know. I haven't left my house in 2 weeks. Oh, hold on. My dog is like, he's like, person. Let me shut that door. Anyways, yeah, I haven't left my house in 2 weeks, but I'm also immune compromised. So, like, I have a face mask ready to go,
Yeah.
Lysol wipes, and I'm plan to not even talk to the couple. Like, we've already, I'm just showing up with my 70 to 200 and shooting the ceremony and piecing out, and then I'll see them again in June for their actual wedding. So
That's my favorite, like just like shooting just a ceremony.
I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, they offered to like let me not go, I guess, but I was like, because they know like I have Crohn's disease and I'm on immune suppressants, and I just like, that's like not being there for my clients. So I was like, no, I'll be there.
Yeah,
I'll just be
us wedding photographers are very sacrificial.
Yep. But I was like, I know that they'll hold something against me for not having photos on their wedding day. Maybe they wouldn't, but in my mind, that's how I feel.
In your mind, they would crucify you. They would hate you.
Yeah.
They would take to the interwebs and just destroy your business.
Yeah, they'd probably like just unhire me for their actual fake wedding. I don't know what they're gonna call it. I don't even know if they're doing another ceremony. We just added another hour on to their coverage, basically.
We call that hour the reception.
just the reception.
Just the
I don't
reception.
know. I booked another wedding for April 24th too. It was someone who I shot their proposal and then was already booked for their wedding, and my bride moved her wedding and they like swooped in, and I was like, why not make a few extra grand? I was like, I'll do a micro wedding.
I'm curious. So Steve often refers to me as an opportunist, and I'm curious if there's any like couples out there that are engaged in the getting married stage of life, and they are looking at this time and they're like, man, I bet you we could get a hell of a deal to get married in like end of April. They're like, I bet you we would have our pick of places.
Maybe. I mean, but the thing is, like, you have to take it like day by day. Like, I didn't know until today where the ceremony was happening. That's tomorrow, because we didn't know if Florida was gonna like put a ban on the venues and the beaches. Like last week it was going to be at a beach, now it's at their original venue. With the April wedding too, it was supposed to be at a little yacht club restaurant type thing, and then now the restaurants are all closed here, so now they're doing it at like a family beach house. So even with booking this wedding, I'm not sure if it'll actually happen. So that's the other thing. I'm like, yeah, people may be taking advantage of it, but this couple paid my full price, so
Hey, we like full price.
yeah. I was like, I took off like $300 for the engagement session that normally comes with it, because obviously we're not doing that, and normally I don't, but I was just like, eh.
Yeah, I saw on Instagram today one of our June brides. She was getting ready to send out her wedding invitations, and she posted that she's like, I'm hoping and praying that I am not one of the many brides who are uninviting people here in the next few weeks if this thing continues on into the summer.
Yeah, I already had one of my June brides contact me asking if she should be looking at postponing or changing her plans, and I'm like,
So have we.
don't do it yet. I was like, wait, literally,
for the sake of my mortgage, please keep your wedding.
Yeah, please, I will be there. That's one I have to fly for, though. So I was supposed to be flying out. So I was supposed to have this wedding tomorrow, and then I was going to be flying out to South Carolina the following morning for another elopement. And so that elopement in South Carolina got right now it's just canceled because the bride is pregnant, which is the whole reason she already moved her wedding up from November to March, and now she's going to be replanning for the third time, and she was like, I don't know when I'll even get around to planning, but
so
I'll be there. So
for those who don't know anything about you, can you tell us a little bit about you? Where are you located? It sounds like you travel a lot for weddings. I'd love to enlighten the listeners or viewers. I guess no one's really gonna. I don't know why I keep saying listeners. No one's going to be listening to this. I'm not recording the audio. This is this is the first time ever in Wedding Photo Hangover history that we are creating a video-only experience.
Wow.
I say that now, but Steve will take this and strip it down.
Yeah.
God knows what.
I'll cut that all out. We won't even talk about making history anymore.
I know.
But anyways, I am a full-time wedding photographer based out of Ormond Beach, Florida, which, if you're not familiar with Florida, it's right next to Daytona Beach and about an hour from Orlando. I can hear my boyfriend playing Call of Duty really loud right now. Sorry, there's like gunshots behind me.
Gunshots?
But anyway, sorry. But yeah, I do full-time wedding photography. I've been full-time now for almost 4 years, I think, if I can keep track of time. But yeah, it's been great. I shoot weddings basically anywhere someone will pay me to go, because that's how I travel.
Sure.
But I shoot a lot up in New England and mostly like Georgia, like the more southern states. But I'm hoping to make my way over to the
Indiana.
West Coast.
Well, yeah, West Coast.
I was actually just talking to Jen about Indiana, so maybe.
Hey.
I was like, I'll have to book a wedding there to ever go, honestly. I don't have the time otherwise.
We have a lot of churches here.
Yeah, but what is it? You're not Pentecostal. Whatever your new company name is.
Union Chapel Photo.
Union Chapel. Okay. Not Pentecostal. Okay.
No, that's Steve's smear campaign.
Yeah.
About trying to put some sort of religious taint on it.
I mean, it sounds very like hipster, like
right?
church.
Yeah,
I think
got sort of
cool.
like a young millennial, I'd hire them vibe.
Yeah, like definitely a cool church if it was a church.
Surprisingly, though, we have no churches named that. So I'm hoping that some mega church comes to town and wants to be named that, and then they have to buy my domain name.
Yeah, that'd be good. All about making that money right now. So
hey, gotta feed these hungry kids.
Yeah, thankfully I only have hungry dogs. So, but
that allows you to travel a fair bit more.
Them. Not really. God, they're two crazy pit bulls, and we just switched them to a raw food diet, and it was like the worst time to do that because all the stores are out of ground beef and pork, and
wow,
I'm just doing shipped orders trying to find meat for my dogs because they'll just cry if I don't have food for them. Do you guys have
any like local butchers around you? I know that's where we've been getting our meat. Yeah,
we do. I have my trusty Publix that I can normally get what I need from them, but with like my immune system, I'm not even going out to grocery stores. So
that's true.
Like, if I can't get it delivered to my front door, then it's not happening.
Right.
Yep. And I only have one delivery, like other than like Ship, but I have like Grubhub, and that's all I have. So like I just had a Blizzard, which was great. It was the most expensive Blizzard I've ever had, but it's worth it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see if we can add Jackie or Luke back in.
Yeah, I swear you can add more people. How? I don't know.
Right.
There's a plus sign.
I know we can add more to our Skype call between you and I.
It's to get it into the live system.
But the software we're using, I don't know if it will let me feed more than one source in.
Well, you can let me go. We can bring Jackie back. It's okay.
Jackie really wants to come back.
I enjoy Jackie Weaver. chatting on the hangout we did yesterday.
How was
But you
that?
didn't show up
I missed it. Tell me about that.
It was good, but there was a lot of people talking at once. Like with the Zoom thing, it's just like...
See, that's why I wanted to have an intimate conversation.
I like it. Except it makes it hard for me to like pretend like I'm listening and not be playing my Animal Crossing. So that's what I was doing. It was just like, someone start talking, I'm like...
I understand. That's what I'm doing most of the time when I'm podcasting with Steve. So...
Yeah, culling or editing a wedding.
Hey, it's the best time to work is when I hear those sweet tones of Steve Van Elk. But
I mean, same. I normally have you guys podcast playing when I'm editing because if I'm watching Netflix, I get distracted.
Right,
you guys
we're much less distracting.
But,
all right, let me see if I can bring Jackie in. Okay, let's see. What? Kenzie, are you still there? Jackie? Jackie, can you hear me? Okay, we've lost everybody, I think. Jackie? I see your lips moving, but I do not hear you. Okay, I'm hanging up on Jackie. Let's go back to Luke. Luke, are you there? Boom, boom, boom. Does anyone really enjoy the Skype ringtone? Or is it just me?
That's me.
Oh, hey. I'm back. Let's pull in. Whoop, whoop. And I lost you.
Alright. Should be good. Good on your side?
Let's see here. What's going on? I think I'm trying to call too many people and do too many things, and it's... Let me call you right back. Boom, boom, boom. It's like a little... I don't know, it just gets me excited. All right, let's see.
Call a ringtone?
Yeah, I love it.
It's very upbeat.
I know.
I like it.
Boom. And you're gone again. Let's try that again. Boom. It's a good thing this is a professional paid video production with sponsors and such. Just keep drinking that bourbon.
There you go.
So, Luke.
Yes.
What inspires you?
Oh, we're going deep. Just diving right back in. Jeez.
It's like, imagine if like there was a talk show that had like 3 guests, but instead of interviewing them at the same, individually, where then they leave, instead they interview follow format.
I don't understand why no one's ever done that yet. So.
That's why I'm pioneering it, Luke. I'm pioneering it right now.
There you go. I haven't had enough bourbon, or any bourbon for that matter, to really talk about inspiration. But I guess on a serious note, like when I first started, I would say I tried to get inspiration from like videographers that I looked up to. The more I've kind of gone along in this process, the less I try to look at them, because you can kind of get in this like situation where like this constant state of comparison of trying to compare, and you're not feeling adequate or that you're like meeting those expectations, because there's always going to be someone better than you. So I've been trying to do less of that and actually look to photographers and kind of analyze Dustin specifically.
Yes.
I go straight to his page.
It's a good page.
Really, rather than break down like scenes that are in a wedding video and try to emulate that, I try to take a look at really good composed photographs and then think about those, like what was in their mindset going into when they captured that, and then how I can translate that into motion. So how can I take that one composition and think about turning that into an entire scene, or adding motion either leading up to that moment or after that moment. So I don't know if you were seriously asking that question of inspiration or not, but that was kind of a serious answer. Okay, but fair enough.
I liked it. I liked it. One thing I notice a lot of videographers doing, especially with weddings, is they're getting kind of stuck on a focal length. And I notice photographers have been doing this for years, but I think it's, for me at least, it's more apparent with videographers. And I wondered if you've seen that, if you yourself have, feel that you're falling into that, where instead of trying different focal lengths, you're staying at like a 35 or a 50 or an 85. Especially being that a lot of the weddings you're doing now, you're shooting more and more on your own, because we don't count Lindsay as a second shooter, Lindsay being Luke's wife.
I'll tell her you said that, because she's definitely not watching this back.
My wife doesn't watch any of these, especially being that it's the first one.
Yeah. So you're asking if it's if I get stuck on a focal length,
do you find yourself getting comfortable with the focal length, or do you see yourself still shooting long, shooting wide, shooting middle?
Definitely get stuck in that, and not just focal length. I think most people can tend to fall into habits and patterns of you grow into an area of comfortability, and if you're comfortable with something, it's so much easier to just keep repeating that same thing. And yeah, of course I fall into that all the time.
I mean, because when I shoot with you, I love that 70 to 200 when it comes to video, just because of that level of compression.
Right.
And that's why whenever I have an opportunity to shoot video, I like bringing you, so that I know I have somebody not shooting 70 to 200. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's pros and cons to every focal length, obviously. The biggest reason why, and I guess speaking to what I typically shoot, I shoot on an 18 to 35 lens, but it's on a Super 35 sensor. So it's the equivalent, if we're talking in full frame language, it'd be a 28 to 55 range. And I like being more in that 50 to 55 range if I had my pick. But that range allows me to shoot a complementary focal length and style to what I find most photographers that I'm shooting with are in that 35 or shooting on a 50. So I can be in a similar focal length and kind of be right beside them, as opposed to, as you know, if you're on a 70 to 200, you'll be getting the back of my head and the back of the photographer's head in many scenarios. So there's a lot of people asking about the video feed. There's some troll in the comments. His name is Stefan Van Hedek, I think is how it's pronounced. But they're asking about my video feed and why it's so amazing. So Luke, I was wondering if you could take a minute and explain why people are asking if this is a green screen behind me, or if this is I'm blurring this artificially. I was wondering if you could explain aperture to the fine folks at home listening.
Right, because aperture is a distinctly video feature, and photographers don't know about aperture. Got it.
Most
is that what you're saying?
Most of the people in this group, they shoot auto, especially Steven.
Okay. Gotcha. So that's the demographic we're working on here. Okay, yep. Perfect.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that you definitely aren't serious on that question.
So, as Luke, you've been to my home. Is this a green screen behind me?
This is not a green screen. I was wondering about the level of blur and depth that you're getting there. What?
I'm on the Sony 50 millimeter f1.4, shooting at 1.4.
There it is. That's the reason.
Mm-hmm.
My first guess was going to be 70 to 200 at 200.
My home is large, Luke, but it is not that large. I toyed with the 135.
Yeah.
But my cable was not long enough. That's tethering my camera to my computer to have my camera across the room.
You better add that to your Amazon shopping list.
A 30-foot HDMI cable.
Got to get that bokeh.
But we did a test this afternoon with a local realtor using this setup in our studio, and my email has just been blowing up
Nice.
from people who saw his posts asking, like, what's involved, how they can do this, even if it's just like them stopping over and doing like their own little live videos that look better than them like setting their phone up on a bookshelf in their house kind of thing.
So I'm gonna play Steven's role here, and so Dustin, you're just inviting all of these COVID-19 carriers into your home. Is that
100%. So
Okay, cool.
the only requirement is they have to come in a full hazmat suit.
Okay, that really works well for a green screen work.
So then what we do is we feed the lapel mic up through the one puncture hole that I put in their hazmat suit.
I mean, it sounds like you got it nailed down. So perfect process you got going on.
Jackie Santana would like the listeners to know that she does not shoot auto. She shoots only aperture priority.
She's been doing it a while then, obviously.
Kevin Mack wants to know how I'm able to stay in focus when I lean backwards and lean forwards. And Kevin, this would be something you would only know if you shot Sony. Because Sony has something called continuous focus while it shoots video, where it continues to track the focus. Boom. And then bring it back here. Boom. While I'm shooting video.
This is true.
This is true. Especially, which that just concerned me because this is actually my older A7S II. Which for the first little while I sat down to record this, I was completely out of focus and moving my face around and realizing this doesn't have eye recognition like the newer models.
You also wouldn't be familiar with the continuous autofocus if you shot on real video cameras that didn't utilize those features too.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you mean by real video cameras is cameras that handicap yourself from these amazing features called technology.
That's one way of looking at it, yes.
Okay. But because I used to shoot video on Nikon back before Sony was a thing, and because Sony's a new company, it's a startup, and just came into the picture, a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Started
Right.
with cameras. I've heard they've gotten into TVs and a couple other things, but someone said that they thought about doing a computer, but I think that's a waste of time. But yeah, I used to have to manual focus everything when we shot Nikon, and then when gimbals became a thing and I really wanted to get a gimbal, I was looking at the various cameras. Steven actually is the one who talked me into the A6500 because of its autofocus capabilities, and I've just been Sony ever since for video.
I'm just giving you a hard time, man. As
No,
you know,
I love
I
the hard
also have a
times.
Sony too. So.
See, Steven, if you're out there watching, I want you to notice that even after Luke tries to be mean to me, he still apologizes.
I'm a nice guy.
Steve waits till we're
I
done
can't help it.
recording, then apologize.
It's got to keep that persona.
All right, Luke, I'm going to try to bring Jackie Santana back to keep this, just ping pong interview style going.
Alrighty, I'm going to get back to the setting.
editing.
Yep. Later.
Boom, 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 boom. Jackie.
Hey! I'm gonna turn off the live video so that way you don't hear it echoing in the background. Sure, I'm trying to exit. And then also, turn my sync off so you don't hear that in the background.
Hey, that's okay. Let's see, Jackie. Let's see if I can add you back in. Jackie, it's
I also like the Skype ringing music as well, by the way.
right.
It's wonderful.
Jackie, it's not allowing me access to your Skype feed.
It's
Would
weird
you-
because
so-
it worked earlier.
I know Skype is a finicky little thing. You just have to go to your preferences.
Okay, we're. Hang on. Where would I find my? Oh, here we go. Settings.
Calling. Yeah, settings, and then you go to calling,
Allow Skype calls to.
and then go to advanced.
I don't have an advanced.
Under calling.
Yeah, no, I have calling, and then I have call forwarding and voicemail disabled, caller ID disabled. I'm gonna turn
At
on.
the bottom, there's not a little tab that says advanced.
No, I'm on my iPad. It worked earlier, which is so weird.
And you were on your iPad?
Yeah, I'm on my iPad. Maybe hit
Hey.
general. No. What am I looking for once I find that quote unquote advanced?
There's a little thing that says allow NDI usage, which means technology that allows someone to capture your audio and video feed,
All right. Well,
such as me.
yeah. It's so weird because it did it earlier just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Allow incoming video. Turn subtitles on.
Oh, I gotcha.
Is it working now?
Yep.
I don't know what I did, but okay.
Magic.
Some sorcery, I don't know, but it worked.
So how is life? What movie did you turn on for your kiddo?
Well, we were trying to do Return of the Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
but not find the DVD. So we are with, oh my god, I'm blanking now. Not Empire Strikes Back, thank you. Woo! I've already had too much wine.
Hey,
Can't
that's
even
okay.
think of the damn original trilogy.
This is a Friday night party.
Yeah, it's not that exciting in our house this week. we left the house and got Steak and Shake, which is.
Hey, we left the house yesterday to get Culver's, you know.
We told Beckett if he did well with homeschooling and like the whole e-learning thing that we've been doing, that he would get whatever drive-through he wanted picked out. Because he keeps going, can we go somewhere? Can we go get dinner somewhere? And I'm like, well, we can't sit in anywhere, but we can go get a drive-through if you want.
Right?
So clearly my kid likes to go out to eat, which is, I'm sure, a wonderful habit I've instilled in him.
Oh, it's the best. My daughter, we found out my parents would take her to McDonald's after school every day. And she does the sweetest thing where she doesn't realize it's called McDonald's. She calls it Donald's. And so every time we would pass McDonald's, she would say, "Mommy, Daddy, can we go to Donald's?" And I didn't know what she was talking about because my wife's grandfather's name is Donald. And so I would always think that she was saying, like, can we go to, like, great-grandma and grandpa's house? I'm like, that is just the sweetest thing because we really only see them at holidays. And I was like, oh, my goodness, like, she remembers him. And then I find out later that she just wants a Happy Meal.
My stepson, every time he would pass a McDonald's, he would shout, "Donudes, kickin', flies, Donudes." So, kind of a similar situation. son would start clucking like a chicken every time we saw a Burger King because he would eat Burger King's chicken fries.
Okay.
So, you know, the classy things our children do.
Right. All right, Jackie, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to try to bring on listener of the show, John McManaman. All
right, well, I'm chilling, just doing dishes, so I'll be here as long as y'all are recording.
Keep on chiming in, Jackie. All right, let's see if I can bring him in. Kevin, Kenzie, and anyone else out there listening, audio is still good. Everyone can still hear okay? Hello. How are you, sir?
Good.
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh, that's weird. How about now?
Boom.
There we go.
Let's see if I can I want to see if I can bring you into the show here. So you might have to change your settings in Skype to allow external video feeds. Would you like me to walk you through that?
Let's see.
So you go to Skype Preferences.
We're working on it here.
You're fine. I've done it with everybody so far.
All right, what am I looking for?
So once you go to the Skype Preferences, you're going to go to the calling setting menu.
Okay.
And then once you're there, you'll see a little button for advanced settings. All right, whatever you did worked. Boom. You're on the show.
Really didn't do anything.
Hey. Apparently Skype just wants you to know where the settings are.
That's weird.
What are you up to tonight?
Not much of anything, really.
Yeah?
Sitting with my wife, watching TV.
So what is it you do, John? Obviously photographer.
Day job, I'm a truck driver, sort of.
Sort of a truck driver. Okay. Secretly an assassin? Like, what does that mean, sort of?
No, I used to drive over the road, but now I'm just running shuttles for a Home Depot warehouse.
Okay.
So I'm just moving empty trailers for them.
What kind of photography are you doing?
My primary is automotive, and I've been trying to get into weddings for the last 2 years now.
Hey, this might be your year. This will be the year where everyone tries to cram wedding season into like 4 months.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in the Midwest, which, if memory serves, you're in Ohio?
Yeah, I'm right across the border in Dayton.
Right across the border. See, you're close to Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
So you know what a fabulous city this is.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't claim that we are the headquarters of Wendy's, but, you know, we do what we can.
Yeah, well, gotta have goals.
That's right. So how did you stumble across the Wedding Photo Hangover podcast?
I think it was maybe just searching on Facebook, looking for photography groups for weddings and
looking for knucklehead drunks who might shoot weddings and record occasionally.
Yeah, pretty much, and it resonated with me. So it's like, these are my people.
These are my people. These are my people. Perfect. What's your lovely wife doing?
She's watching TV and looking at stuff to buy. So.
Wow. The economy is tanking and your wife is looking at purchasing things. See, that gives me hope. That means that things aren't really as bad as people are saying.
Yeah, not too bad.
Perfect. I mean, I assume you're still driving truck. I assume Home Depot is still making deliveries.
Yeah. They're pretty busy. So, like right now, they call it surge, but it's like our busy time. So, there's trailers in and out all day long.
Really?
So,
that's great.
It keeps me moving.
Perfect.
And she works for the military, so yeah.
Wow. So you can't tell me what she does?
If I did, I have to kill you. So.
That's okay. It's okay. So she's the assassin in the family. Got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Got it. All right. Perfect. All right, John, I just wanted to jump in and say hi to you before I ended things up tonight. I appreciate you jumping on with me.
All right, good deal. Thank you.
Have a good night, buddy.
All right, you too.
Boom. Getting some feedback. Kenzie, how's it all sounding now? Sounding good? Sounding decent? So Kenzie used to mix up McDonald's and Walmart as a child. Some might say that's a sign of dyslexia, mixing up your M's and your W's. But I would never hold that against you. Jackie says everything sounds good. Audio's good. Let's see here. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any curiosities about what I'm doing here with the setup that I can answer? So like I said earlier, we have a Sony a7S II with 50 mil on it. I'm running that directly into the computer. And I just have a simple LED panel light giving me this nice little glow. I have a beautiful wife who's playing the part of set designer that designed the set behind us. And then I just have my normal podcast mic boomed overhead here, which is why I was concerned about the audio quality, because normally you need to be like right on top of those microphones, and I am not. I am probably a solid foot or so away. Jackie, that iPad seems to be giving you a lot of trouble with Facebook Live. I don't know of any software that you can... I mean, there has to be a solution that it will allow you to capture it. Thank you, Kenzie. Have any of you guys thought about getting into live streaming just for, the uncertainty that your clients have right now, even if it's something as simple as like streaming a wedding ceremony or an elopement? I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on that. I'm going to check my audio equipment. Jackie, I don't know why you're not hearing anything. Everything looks good on my end. Kenzie says she might do some live footage for her ceremony tomorrow. Kenzie, how are you planning on doing that? Are you going to just use like an iPhone and live stream it, or what are you gonna do? Ulysses, you want to come on the show, buddy? Before I turn this bad boy off? Everyone wants to see the famous Ulysses del Toro. He's thinking about it. Ulysses, I just need you to get on Skype, my brother. This is where Ulysses will probably tell me he doesn't have Skype. Maybe. Oh, hello. Whoa. People are saying my background looks blurred out. Look at that one.
Sony, baby.
Sony, baby. Are you, do you have the setting turned on that allows me to share your feed?
I do, yeah.
Sweet. You've only heard it like, what, 5 times? Let's see if it will let me do it. It's telling me you do not, Ulysses.
It again. Let's see.
Oh, there it went. All I needed was some time, I guess.
All good now?
Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me tonight the one, the only, the famous Ulysses del Toro. Resides in sunny California, and that beard is something that people still talk about to this day.
Oh my God.
Look at that thing. I think you're inspiring Steven. Have you seen Steven's beard?
Yeah, it's coming in good, man.
Good is a word. I don't know if it's the word I would use, but it is certainly an opinion.
He's got a much stronger mustache, that's for sure.
Sure, mustache is also a word.
Where's yours?
My wife made me shave mine off today. She's like, if you're gonna be doing all this live stuff now that you've polluted my kitchen with all of this equipment, you can't look homeless, is the word she used. So here I am.
I guess Maria likes
my
looking homeless.
young innocence. Just trying to look 12 again. Trying to look pre-puberty.
Oh gosh.
While I drink bourbon.
So I got a question for you about your little setup there. It looks really good. You said you have the Sony plugged straight into the computer, but how are you able to run the camera through the way you're doing it live?
I'm not tracking, Ulysses. So the camera is going from mini HDMI, which is the output on the Sonys, or at least the bigger DSLRs. Fun fact, the A6500 is not mini HDMI. I learned that the hard way, because that's the camera I intended to use for this shenanigan.
Yeah.
And then that goes into the Ultra Studio Mini Recorder, which is made by Blackmagic, of course. Why not?
Oh, okay.
Why wouldn't they make this little magical thing? I think it retails for anywhere from like $200 to $300. I don't believe they make them anymore, but you can still find them used probably.
I think that was my main question. I was wondering how you were running it, what you had.
Let me see if I have enough slack on the cord.
I pulled it up right now. I'm looking at it.
It's right here. Look at this little guy. It's out of focus, but it's just this little box, size of a Tic Tac case.
That's all it takes, huh?
That's all it takes. So that goes from, converts the feed into like a webcam type feed, which then goes from Thunderbolt to Thunderbolt. And then from there, you can use the feed for pretty much anything. You can use it for your Skype. You can use it for, can't use it for FaceTime, even though FaceTime picks it up as an external camera, but it does not allow you to use it.
That's good to know. I know at my job, with everything going on right now, they've definitely been moving everything into a digital format, which is, for me, it's good because it's kept me working.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, our city's been doing a ton of like live stream stuff, and it's just been absolute garbage. It's actually kind of what inspired me to kind of push into this, because I already had all the technology. Because I tried to get into this about 2 years ago, but the Nikon stuff just did not play well with the Blackmagic box. I had tons of issues with audio. So I think I've solved that now with what I'm doing. But in the Sony stuff with the autofocus tracking, it's just, I don't have to have anyone behind the camera. It's just, it's much more flawless. Seamless. Seamless is a better word.
Now you said they discontinued that little Ultra Studio Mini. What would you use now instead?
I think they still make something similar. It's just like a newer, it's probably like HD, it's probably like Thunderbolt 3, or like it's like a newer updated version.
Yeah.
Because when I was looking for to update the firmware on it before I started this, I noticed that it wasn't listed as like a current item on Blackmagic's website. I had to kind of like dig for it.
Yeah.
But I did find it on I sent Steve a link to it on Amazon, but it's hard for me to tell sometimes if something's like in stock or out of stock, just because Amazon's currently not, like, at least in my area, shipping anything that they deem non-essential.
Yeah.
Like I tried to order a bike pump yesterday, and it told me it wouldn't be here till April 24th. So I was like,
yeah, I did notice that. I tried to order an umbrella, like a softbox, and same thing. It wouldn't be here until like the 23rd. So I actually ended up ordering it directly through the what's it called, the dealer.
Yeah, it's probably better for the dealer.
Yeah, it was a newer.
Yeah, that kind of like Amazon brand.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that
because they like flood the Amazon market.
Yeah, I had no idea, but they're located in New Jersey.
Luke just said that like most live streaming equipment right now, everything's going to be back ordered.
That makes sense too. Yeah.
See, I predicted this pandemic 2 years ago, Luke. That's why I invested so heavily in this one piece of technology.
Right.
So yeah, the only thing I had to order in order to get this the ball rolling on this was just a longer HDMI cord so that I could, push the camera back further.
So is this what you're going to be using next time you and Steve go live?
Yeah, I mean, Steve's given me a lot of grief. He thinks this is a huge waste. He doesn't think that you guys deserve the eye candy, which is this. He thinks the pixelated webcam version is plenty for you guys to devour. But I think there's just more that I can give, Ulysses. That's what I'm here for. I'm just a giver.
Oh, gosh. Well, I personally like the fact that you guys are going live. It looked good just the way it was, but this definitely does look really clean.
See, now you just have to talk Steve into it, because it really is only worth it or good if we're both doing something of this caliber.
just send them a little care package with one of those studio minis.
Yeah. Can I put on it sponsored by the Wedding Photo Podcast?
As long as you keep saying my podcast on your podcast, I'm totally cool with it.
Perfect.
I'll take all the promotion I can get.
I'll even put a sticker on the device that says "Brought to you by the Wedding Photo Podcast." That we'll even plug it in each of our video podcasts. Today's podcast, Steve's audio, is brought to you by the Wedding Photo Podcast.
Not
the audio. It would be just the video would be brought to you by.
That's pretty funny.
So what's up with you, man? How's the corona cracking over by you?
Everything is good on our end. We're doing our part in staying in. I mean, I'm having to go to work, but I'm limiting all my travel to going to work, back home, and the grocery store sometimes. But Maria hasn't left the house at all for 2 weeks now. But other than that, yeah, we're doing fine, man. We have all the supplies that we need. I feel like the grocery stores have everything under control now. I went the other day, and they had everything. They had everything except toilet paper. You just have to go there when they open to get it.
Do we know what's up with that yet? I mean, you work for the government.
No.
What's the conspiracy behind the toilet paper shortage?
I don't know. All I know is I feel like we're going to look back on this event and we're all going to wonder why everybody took the toilet paper. It makes no sense.
I mean, is there a direct correlation between vaccine supplies and the toilet paper supply chain?
I have no idea, man. We were lucky. The week before everyone panicked and bought all the toilet paper, we had actually ran out and went and bought some. So we lucked out. We had plenty. But yeah, I don't get it.
I just want to put this out there. If and when they make the Netflix documentary on the toilet paper crisis, I want to be a part of that crew, a part of that team, because I'd love to be an investigator on who the creative marketing genius was at Charmin that put out the photoshopped photo of a empty toilet paper aisle and created the most viral purchasing decision ever.
So you're saying a scheme?
Oh, 100%. I mean, it doesn't make sense otherwise, Ulysses. Why would anyone say, oh my God, there's this pandemic that could potentially kill elderly and, immunocompromised, and a few other people, but, they might ask us to stay in. If they ask us to stay in a quarantine level situation, here's what I need to get to be prepared. I need all the toilet paper I can get, all of it. I mean, I've not yet met a person that I thought that logic would just flow with.
No, it really makes no sense. I don't know. But like I said, I'm happy to see that it looks like all the grocery stores are starting to be almost fully stocked. Even paper towels were out, and we were able to get paper towels. I mean, there was limited amount, but I mean they were there. So I think over the next week or two, I'm hoping that we start seeing all that stuff back.
Right. No, like today I went to Chipotle. And instead of paying in cash, I handed him 2 rolls of toilet paper, and he gave me change back on that order. So, yeah, it was.
I heard people even like breaking into cars looking for toilet paper.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I will say now it definitely crosses my mind when I go into a place. Obviously, I haven't been into a place recently. Doing my best to stay home. But before the stay-at-home ordinance was passed here, whenever I would go somewhere, I would definitely think about taking the toilet paper home with me. Just saying, it's a thought that crossed my mind.
So, are you planning on offering this live service along with your business? Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm still trying to figure it out. So my original plan, Ulysses, was twofold. I was planning on offering live streaming services to brides who had to limit their wedding to, immediate family, very small, almost an elopement.
Yeah.
So that was idea number one. Was just to help them out in this time. Wasn't going to charge anything for it. If I could figure out a way to do it like this, where I could just bring my laptop, hook up a camera, hotspot from my phone or iPad, and I wouldn't do any of this fancy like audio stuff. It would just be like camera audio with like a little Rode mic on it or something. And so that was plan number one. And then plan number two was, since I'm so involved in the real estate market when it comes to marketing, photography, etc., the idea was realtors are going to be hit very hard by this because no one is going to be out there looking at homes, but realtors are going to still have homes that are on the market for sale. And at least here locally, a lot of realtors depend on open houses, not so much to sell a home, but to market their services to potential other people, other clients. Most people don't realize that when a realtor does an open house, they're not actually like doing this open house because they think like, oh, someone's going to come and look at this house and buy it and that'll help me. They do hope that, don't get me wrong. But they're actually hoping to find 5 other people that will like them and then be like, might not necessarily buy that house, but now they use them as their realtor. So I had this idea of doing live stream open houses where essentially we would put the camera on a gimbal and we would follow the realtor around showing off the house in real time. And that way people could ask questions, people could comment on things, and they could answer them in real time. So that was my idea. I've pitched it to a few people. People really want to do it. I've since kind of modified that idea because they're just, when it comes to live streaming, as I'm sure you know and have realized, the more variables you add into the equation, the scarier and more uncertain it gets. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to create a like 1 to 2 minute video of the house doing a like virtual tour, still on the gimbal, still making it look great. But then we're going to have the realtor over to our studio and we're going to let them do the live stream, similar to like what we're doing here, where you'll see the virtual tour on one side, realtor on the other, and they can walk you through the house without me having to worry about hot spots falling out or Wi-Fi or any of that.
Now, if you did want to do the live thing at the house, would you need to like plug it into your laptop, or is there a way where you can plug all that to your phone too?
So currently the only other technology I've found is you'd have to have some sort of a wireless receiver on the camera, and then that from the camera then going to a hub similar to like a router, and then the router going into the computer. And that was just going to be thousands of dollars and super expensive. And, I wasn't sure how well received this was going to be. And like you and I spoke on your podcast not too long ago, the realtors just don't want to pay any more than they have to.
Yeah.
So most were okay with just doing video and forgoing the live portion. But once I explained the benefits of the live portion, they were willing to pay more. And once I told them, a lot of realtors aren't going to be actors. So like the idea of them like walking around a house and kind of being cheesy and fake and, happy, I think that was asking a lot of them. So I think that most of them actually like this idea better, where they can be in a controlled environment and just kind of like talk to the camera and answer questions, where they can sit and think, and they don't have to like walk around and feel awkward, feel like they're Vanna White.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's but I feel like that's a good service to offer. I wish it was easier to do I mean, you can do live with your phone, but this kind of setup with like a professional camera where you can walk around.
Right. So if you had like an Osmo or something where you can like put your phone on there and then follow them around and do like live right through the phone. And I know that's what, and the thing was, I wanted to do something that realtors weren't already doing. Like I'm already seeing realtors do virtual open houses with their phones where they're just, walking around, holding it out or on a selfie stick.
Yeah.
So I wanted something that even took it up to like the next level.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. I'm not anticipating becoming like a full-on live stream business by any means. But if I have the opportunity to work for the city, because there's only one company in town that does live streaming. And when I found that out last year, when I was working for the mayor, I was really tempted to try and jump into that space because I'm like, God, there's like zero competition. All these guys do is stream like high school sports and then like various, political events and stuff. But so I was photographing the debate and they were live streaming it, and they never could get the stream to work. And so they just didn't get it to work. It was like, your only job is to stream this live. And if that, one thing goes wrong and you can't get it out, it's like, it's over. It's like, there's no way you can like make that right. Other than like, he was setting up his iPhones around the venue, trying to stream it from his like phones. He keeps like a box full of old iPhone like 5s and 6s. And he was just like streaming them from that. And I was like, my gosh, this is like ridiculous.
I've said it before, but I what I've learned working like at the county is these types of, for us as creatives and artists, those types of jobs don't really exist city and at the city and county level yet. Our county, like we have management that's like, they feel like they're not taking a risk, but they're definitely like willing to take the risk because they know that having a team of creatives on is actually really important, and it's been benefiting them. When we talk to others, their teams are one person, and that person's actually just like a technician who just happens to know how to use Instagram, and they're being paid the same amount as their technician job, but they also now have the responsibility to like be posting for the entire city. But these jobs, I feel like they're going to start opening up more and more, and especially right now with this pandemic, now seeing that they need to bring a lot of stuff into a digital format, they're not going to know how to figure that stuff out. They're going to see that they need professionals to do it. So if anybody's interested in looking for photo video jobs, I would say keep an eye out over the next couple months or years at city and county levels. They're going to start opening up those positions.
Absolutely. Do you see yourself in this job like long term? Like, is this something you enjoy that much, or is this just like a stepping stone to like something else?
I don't really know. Right now I took the opportunity just to see where it would take me. I've been there just under a year, and what I've gotten from it is what I like about it so far is that it's advanced my skill set as a videographer, especially. That's what I'm doing most of. I was like in the second year of doing like some wedding films, but we weren't doing a lot. I know enough Premiere and cameras and how to get around all that stuff, but this job had me making films and turning them over, the same day. I'm learning more about motion graphics. I'm learning more about titles. I'm spending a lot more time in After Effects, which I wasn't, really proficient in. So what I like about this job right now is that it's forcing me to learn all these different things and learn them fast. And I'm in it all the time. So I think for now, as long as the job is always pushing me and I'm learning something, then I'd be interested to stay. So I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to end up, how long I'm going to be there. But as long as I'm enjoying it and as long as it's pushing me, then I don't see any reason to
Until
let
you
it go.
become the governor of California.
From the what?
The governor of California. The governator.
The
You'll
governor.
just slowly rise in that political reign.
Yeah. Nope. I stay out of politics, man. It's not my thing.
Started as the videographer. Next thing you know, you're running the office.
No.
And you're running
no.
the city. Then you're running the state, and then you're president.
Yeah. No thanks, man. I'm good.
And then you're gonna set minimum packages for wedding photographers. That'll be your first order as president. The wedding reformation year. I can see it. You could run on that platform.
Doing something like that for sure.
Just looking out for us measly wedding photographers.
Hang on a second.
Ulysses has left the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry about that.
Oh, coming back. He's back.
My bad.
Boom.
My Bluetooth speaker turned on out of nowhere.
I just thought maybe your wife started singing to you. I was like,
No.
wow, that's the sweetest.
No, I'm in my makeshift office today. I'll be working from home starting next week, so I created a little office space in the garage so I can keep myself busy.
I was gonna do this from our studio, but I thought for my first attempt and not knowing how it was gonna go, I would do it from my kitchen, just so I could get a feel for it.
Yeah, the background looks good.
Yeah, I realized, because, I mean, you know, as a videographer, I was looking for a lot of depth. And I realized very quickly, in a home, you don't have a lot of depth.
Mm-hmm.
So this was I'm sure I'll come up with a better composition, a better place to do this moving forward.
As you can see, I was also going for a lot of depth.
Yeah, you have tremendous amount of depth. The most depth. Is this almost too much blur? Like, I feel like this might be too much blur.
I mean, it's real blur though. It looks good. Like mine, you could tell it looks. I was turning on. I sure that you could blur the background, so I wanted to see what that looked like.
Yeah, I mean, so with this software that I have, I can do some crazy things with green screens. So my goal is Luke, that was on earlier, has a green screen he's going to let me borrow. But I'll give you a little taste, little sampling here. If you're watching, can do let's see.
Is it going to be on the Facebook feed?
Should be.
There's going to be a little lag, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Something like that, maybe.
Let's see. I'm waiting for it to go. Oh, there it goes. What the heck? I guess we could have used that as a background.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been messing around with that. Oh my gosh. That's cool. We've been messing around with that, at our work. They kind of put us in charge of figuring out these like live meetings too. So we're using Skype, we're using Zoom, WebEx. But Zoom has been our favorite so far. We've been using it, our little team of 4, and it's hilarious. We're always changing our backgrounds to something different.
Yeah, my
so
IT guy.
Meetings in like Hawaii with our glasses on and stuff. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy earlier today who's been doing a lot of Zoom meetings, and he he went around, or I don't know if he's like getting these photos offline or where he's getting these from, but he's getting photos from fast food restaurant lobbies.
Yeah.
Like Taco Bell or Arby's or wherever. And so every Zoom meeting for work, he's in a different fast food lobby. And he makes it look like he's sitting like at the booth.
Yeah.
And he always has a bag from that fast food place in front of him.
Oh my gosh.
So that, I mean, it's not like the meetings are multiple times a day. It's like once a day.
Yeah.
And so then he has like, if he's at Taco Bell, he has like Taco Bell, and it's like you see the cashier behind him. You see like you look like you're in the restaurant, and he just looks like he's just zooming, right from the right from the restaurant. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I thought it was hilarious.
No, I've been seeing a lot of that. A lot of students right now using Zoom for their classes, and I'm seeing a lot of memes where they're doing that.
Yeah, I think if I was in college right now and I had Zoom meetings all the time for classes, I'd be having so much fun with that. I mean, I feel like that alone would
be the most professional setup.
Well, it would just be I would put way more time and creativity into how goofy I could be for my Zoom class meeting than I would be probably for any like homework or assignment.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
But do you have Zoom then? Like, do you get that through work?
Yeah, I have it on. Well, we've been using just the free version because so far none of the meetings have involved over 50 people. I think you can do 50 people. Okay. But we're in the middle of looking at other options, because they also want it to be cost efficient. So we're looking at some other software that we can use besides Zoom. So like one of the things that they're working on is, that the county's still hiring even with everything that's going on, but they're moving over to a hiring process where they're going to be doing either live Skype type of interviews, or there's software that we've been looking into that has some really unique features, like where I could be the recruiter and I can send you a video like, hey, thanks for hopping on. I've got some questions for you. I can ask you a question. And then at any point you can actually record your end and answer that question. So that kind of, that way we don't have to worry about like people missing, their times or scheduling a certain time. You can kind of do it whenever. So It's got some pretty interesting features. But yeah, we're literally in the middle of looking at all those options right now. But I think by we're going to be via the web.
Yeah, you got me really wanting to push into live streaming on the city level. So I might make a phone call on Monday.
Yeah. Right now is the time to do it. Like I said, everyone's moving their stuff digitally. I work for HR, so we do a lot of internal stuff. And right now there's a lot of presentations that people have. There's a lot of meetings that people have. And right now all last week, all I've been doing is recording all those meetings and presentations and making them available to the employees, that way they don't have to go to the meetings because they can't right now.
Right. Just have them, if you want, Ulysses, I'm available to moderate these meetings for you. If you need sort of a company moderator for meetings.
Yeah.
Were you involved in the happy hour get-together yesterday?
No, I wanted to jump on. I got the invitation, and I put that I was going, but I didn't even realize what time it was at. And it was Eastern time. I was still at work, so I was not able to join it.
Yeah, me either. I'm just curious what it was like. Felt left out.
Yeah.
It was our daughter's birthday yesterday.
Oh, nice.
So
Happy birthday.
I felt like I would be disowned as a father and a husband if I was like, hey, you guys go ahead and do the cake. I'm going to be over here doing this digital happy hour thing.
Yeah. I think you did the right thing, man.
Yeah. All right, buddy. It's getting late for us East Coasters. I think I'm going to call it a night.
Yeah, man. This looks good. Keep it up. Keep doing it.
Thanks for jumping on with me. I appreciate it.
Get Steve into it.
We'll see. Steve's kind of a bump on a log.
All right, man. I'll talk to you again soon.
Can't wait.
All right.
Boom. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the first ever, like, wedding photo hangover hangout, if you will. If you guys enjoyed this, if you'd like to see more of this, we all know we're not doing anything over the next few weeks. So we're here, Steven and I. If there's anything we can do for you guys, let us know. And let us know what you think about this in the comments. And if you think Steve should up his video game, love to hear that too. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for following along.
Wedding Photo Hangover was edited this week by Steve Van Elk of Bespoke Tone. Go to Bespoke Tone for all of your photo, video, and audio editing needs. Woo-wee!